In the event of a chemical, biological and radiological attack, the SAF's Medical Response Force, or MRF, is activated to provide support for decontamination and on-site treatment. A typical MRF deployment has key sections such as triage, decontamination, screening and treatment.
So for triage sections, it's actually basically the prioritization of casualties according to the severity of injuries. And for decon section, it's actually to decontaminate the casualty, and for screening, is to make sure that the casualties are sufficiently clean so that we can send them back to the treatment. At treatment site, we will provide supportive care before the casualties are evacuated for definitive care in hospitals.
Setting up the deployment is hard work. The MRF troopers put up heavy tendages as shelters and bring in all the stores and equipment separately to be assembled on location.
This is a life-saving effort, so the deployment needs to be fast and ready for the casualty. So that's really where our energy goes to. There's a lot of running around, carrying of stores, unloading of stores, especially from the crates. The crates are very heavy.
The fact that these tasks are done in their mission-oriented protective posture or Mod 4 suits under the sun means that it becomes even more physically demanding for the troopers, who are working fast to put everything together. There's a new way for the Medical Response Force to deploy for decontamination and on-site treatment. What you do is to bring everything you need in a neat, tidy package, much like a toolbox, where all your stuff are packed and ready to go. Meet the Medical Decontamination and Treatment Vehicle, or MDTV. With this new vehicle, the initial setup for the deployment, namely the decontamination and treatment sections, will be a lot less strenuous and a lot faster, shaving off more than 1/3 of the time needed for the setup. So how does the new MDTV compare to the more conventional method of deployment? For a start, the troopers won't have to contend with heavy tendages like they did before. Instead, external overhead canopies on both sides of the vehicle are deployed almost automatically at the push of a button, forming rapid deployment shelters. Secondly, all the stores and equipment are no longer brought separately and assembled on site. In fact, they are either kept in the MDTV or integrated with it. These include shower booths and showering equipment, as well as rollers positioned on both sides of the vehicle. For a closer look at the MDTV, I asked Captain Wang Zhongkai, the project officer for the vehicle, to share some of the unique features of the platform.
It's a modular vehicle platform which can actually deploy into both the decontamination mode as well as the treatment mode, and can be interchangeable between the two. So as part of one deployment, we'll be having one vehicle deployed as a decon vehicle and another one as a treatment vehicle. You can see just behind me the simulated casualties are lining up to enter the cabin, where lies a walking lane decontamination. Take it in simple words as a giant shower room where actually the casualties can remove all the chemical contaminants over the body. The blue canopy over here that you can see is our lying decontamination lane. So essentially these are for lying casualties who are unable to walk, who are sometimes unresponsive, unable to cooperate, and therefore we need to help them, assist them throughout the decontamination process. This is our treatment MDTV, which serves as a treatment bay for all our casualties and stabilization before we actually transfer them for definitive care in the hospital. The inner cabin is set up in an ICU kind of setting, where our medical officer is able to perform all the essential life-saving procedures on the patient to stabilize them before we transfer the casualties for definitive care in the hospital.
The equipments are all there. All we need just to take out from the cabinets, the compartments. There's not really much of carrying from one end from point A to point B.
For MDTV, it's much more automated. For deployment-wise, of course, it's much less tiring and exhausting compared to the conventional and MRF deployment. We can set up the decontamination section and treatment section at an earlier stage, and it provides the earlier supportive care for the casualties.
The SAS Medical Response Force stands ready round the clock to handle chemical, biological and radiological emergencies. With the new medical decontamination and treatment vehicle now in active service, the force has added confidence that if the call ever comes in, it can respond quicker and deal more effectively with these threats.